Forster has resigned. Canada coming up empty at the World Juniors, and the Blue Jays, well, of course, they've yet to sign a significant free agent. Yes, folks, the new year is underway. Welcome to the Sportsline Podcast. I'm Bubba O'Neill. Certainly hope that you enjoyed your time and your holidays with family and friends, and no doubt kept busy with all the sports that were on the telly. Well, as you know, we love to chat about the sports scene on a player, executive, and team basis on this podcast. Today, we're talking to a group that continues to run outstanding events right here in our community. For years, VR Pro have been the leaders of promoting good health by hosting premier road races for runners, joggers, and people like me, walkers. Whether it be the Santa Claus 5K, the Canada Day race, or the upcoming chilly half marathon in Burlington, or the frosty and frigid 10K in Hamilton, CEO and co-founder Kelly Arnott has made her team here, and they are running these can't-miss events on a local and provincial and national basis. Joining me on today's podcast is Kelly, along with Dr. Richard Tytus. Happy New Year, folks.
Thank you, Bubba. Same to you.
Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. I'll tell you, when I look back at all the things that you've done, and of course you and I have become good friends and in the Burlington area, and you've run these events, and I know your group is called VR Pro. I think the question a lot of people want to know is who, other than the people that are in your running groups, who are VR Pro?
It's actually my partner, Mark Arnott, and I had a store called The Village Runner in Village Square, Burlington. In the 90s, we opened up this store when running was just becoming a thing, just becoming. And so we brought in all these shoes and had this great little running shop. And then we realized you can't have a store without having people run from the store. So we started doing Learn to Run clinics on Wednesday nights and take people out running through Spencer Smith Park, and they'd come back and we'd have treats. And then we decided about a year later to put on our very first race, which was the Downtown Dash in the 90s. About 31 years ago. Yeah, I know, time is clicking away.
It's flying.
And we had a couple hundred people, and actually that first race was put on with a woman. Her name was Jo Wells, and she actually decided to run across Canada the next year, and Mark and some of our team went with her. So that was sort of the start of it, and that's why it's called VR Promotions. We started some other big events, and then we decided, primarily Mark decided, let's run a half marathon from our store in downtown Oakville called The Village Runner to our store in Burlington. So we decided to put on this huge half marathon in March, a terrible time of year, 3 weeks before the Around the Bay, but it was a huge success. We raised $5,000, I can remember this, for Halton Women's Shelter. And then we've continued it every year. And right now we have 3,400 people registered for this upcoming Chile Half Marathon in March.
Well, I'll tell you, and you've been doing, it's amazing story. I mean, it always starts off with one, and look at the amount of people that are running through the streets of downtown Burlington. How many races in total do you have throughout our wonderful area here, Hamilton, Oakville, Burlington?
We have 10 races right now. We sort of expanded our Hamilton races a little bit because we love dealing with Hamilton. Tourism Hamilton, the venues. We had some events from the Royal Hamilton Yacht Club. We've been using the beautiful Waterfront Shores building right now, which is down by Williams, where all that great development is happening. And then we've been also down at Confederation Park, so they're running along the lakefront. We love to sort of showcase the lake and the area. So we've brought a lot of people from Toronto, Niagara area to Hamilton, and they've sort of discovered this new city for them. We've got some great partners with Hamilton. We have the Ticats. We get tickets for the games. We have Theatre Aquarius as one of our partners, so we give tickets for that. And we're very close with Radius Restaurant. They give us some gift cards.
Nice.
So we have this Hamilton package. And we really support Hamilton Food Share. We know how strong the need is in Hamilton, especially. And of course, Hamilton Food Share supports 17 other organizations. So we now, even though we raise money for McMaster, we raise money for Joe Brandt, we also are asking every single participant if they would give $1 or $5 for Hamilton Food Share, and then it is matched 5 times by the vendors. So even for our Chili Half Marathon in Burlington, people are donating to Hamilton Food Share and Joseph Brandt.
It's outstanding to see that the brand, and I'll call it a brand, has grown so much. But Doctor, I'll swing it to you, and what I'm actually learning here a little bit is about the importance of movement, and that these races, I mean, yes, there's going to be outstanding athletes out there that can run a half marathon or a 10K, in a certain amount of time, but you don't have to be running all the time.
No, exactly. And so I represent the doctors in this area, so I'm the chair of the OMA for this region. So when you go to your doctor, the doctor always says, hey, go out and exercise. But I get a pushback from a lot of my patients, hey, doc, I can't afford to exercise. Or, doc, I look terrible in spandex. So walking or running is something you can do from your own house. Walking, everyone can do. So that's why we support, like the Ontario Medical Association, this district actually supports these runs or these walks, because anyone can do them. And so what we say is, docs talk the talk, but now you can walk with your doc. So a lot of docs actually come out, they bring their patients, and they just walk. And what I really love about Kelly and our organization is that they've got 1Ks. So 1Ks are great for kids, great for families, great for older people. And I remember a couple of years back at the Hamilton Santa Run, or Hamilton Santa Walk, we had someone with a walker. So they did a 1K with a walker. Now, how cool is that? Mm-hmm. So everyone can participate.
And what are the benefits, you would say?
Oh, the benefits are, again, if you don't move, it helps with the circulation. It helps with your weight. It helps, especially if you start active in the wintertime. There's so many people suffering from SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, okay.
So I really want people to get out. So this is a great opportunity to get them out. And it's not only about race day or walk day, it's about getting prepared for it, starting to walk, a week, 2 months, 3 months ahead of time, right? So you get that exercise.
Kel, are you hearing that from your runners as well, too, that they're actually experiencing personal benefits?
Oh, definitely. And I think for all distances, definitely what Rick is talking about, but for the Chili Half Marathon, for example, if you decide you're going to run a half marathon, you have to train 4 or 5 months in advance. So starting in November, if they're going to do the Chili Half or the Around the Bay 30K, they have to be on the schedule to get out the door 3, 4, or 5 times a week and increase their distance and try to increase their speed so that by race day they are going to perform how they would like. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps people moving throughout the winter. And I mean, there are some days when it's really cold, like today, where we may not suggest people go outside, but you can go on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. Rick and I used to be on the elliptical every day, no matter what. He'd have to listen to me for
I was going to say
2 hours.
Kept each other honest here.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Kelly is she wouldn't stop talking.
I'd say, Rick, 20 more minutes. No, I've got to see patients. No, you can't leave me yet.
So I think on a basic here, I think one of the first times you and I met, you had asked me to be one of the starters for the Santa Claus race in Burlington, which to me blows my mind because, I mean, these are hot Santa Claus uniforms that people are putting on. Like, look at these people. They are insane, in my opinion. And they're running a good part of Burlington. And this one particularly is in Hamilton. And I thought it was really, really cool to see this. But then my mind started to get going. And I'm thinking to myself, the elements and the time of planning these events, because I'm thinking you got to talk to the police. Like, you got to go to City Hall and shut down these roads. Like, what is the procedure of getting each event underway in our area?
Well, generally at this time of year, we're getting everything planned out for the year. So for the city of Hamilton, for example, we have to do noise permits. We have to get permission from the health department, have our medical team in place. We have to get permission from the special event team and submit the route and make sure there aren't any other events going on that day. Like, we use Bayfront Park a lot, so we've got to make sure that it's available for us on those days. And in Burlington with the Chili Half, it's a bit more complicated because we are actually out on that road for 21 kilometers. And we start basically on Brand Street and go almost to Oakville and back. So we're dealing with 2 municipalities, and we have a complete road closure. So we went to City Hall about 10 years ago and asked if this road closure could be in place and sort of set in stone. And we worked really well with the city of Burlington, and they've actually given the Chili Half, it's now considered a legacy event.
Wow.
So that race will be able to continue on, even if Mark and I are not involved or other people are involved. The race will be able to stay and keep going. And it's been going for 29 years now.
Wow.
So it is a bit of an inconvenience for some of the residents, Bubba, because they're being asked to just allow our runners to use the road for a couple of hours. And so we have to send notification letters to all of them and alert all the churches. And I do a lot of stuff myself. Like, I'll take letters into all the churches probably next week and just make sure that the minister is fine with it and he'll pass it on to the congregation. One particular church we work with really closely is the Burlington Anglican Lutheran Church on Lakeshore. And they actually come out and do a fruit station for the runners when the runners are running by on the way back. And even some of our runners have even gone inside and had a quick communion and used the bathroom. We have got this beautiful relationship with them, and I think that's really, you know, in any business these days, it's all about relationships. Relationships with your customers, with the city officials, with the police, and really trying to have good communication with all.
I think that's outstanding because I think, and I can understand that there would be some residents in our area that might feel annoyed about the fact that the streets are shut down. But I would have to believe that the majority of people in this area understand the benefits of what's happening, that people are out there being active and running around and in an organized event without any issues or problems, you know, well-policed security, all the things that are going on. Tourism as well, too, I think would have to be big as well, too, because what I've also understood is that people are coming from all over the province and in some cases the country to run in your events.
That's right. In fact, I was just looking at the map last night, and we've got people coming from UK. We have people from all over Canada and from the US. There's quite a group from Detroit area. And it's really excited to see all these people. And we, this year, we're going to have a special present, which I'm not going to say what it is.
No,
come on.
It's going to be really difficult not to say.
Come on, you can let us know. We won't tell anyone.
I'm just going to say one thing. It's just something that will be in their hotel rooms for them when they arrive.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, so you guys can try to guess what that is.
Doctor, here's a challenging question for you because I know I have heard some kickback in some sense for some of these races because some people have bad knees. What is or is there a challenge? I think ultimately if you could run on grass everywhere in the world, that would be great, but that's just not possible. Is there a challenge with running on roads, the road surface?
Yeah, so I think it all comes down to good footwear.
Okay.
So if you have good footwear, that compensates for that. So I always recommend make sure that you have good footwear, and also not that it just looks good, okay? So you have to make sure that, I would recommend that before a race you break it in, get new footwear, you break it in, and you run that race. And maybe 3-4 months replace it. Even though the footwear looks great, it's still worn.
Right.
So that's really crucial.
And I would think so, because I think when you're looking at ages all over the place, that's one thing when you're 12 years old to be running these races, and that you do anything to your body, your legs, your limbs, your knees. But of course, when you're getting up there in age, as some of us are, that it would be a little bit more challenging.
For sure, and that's why it's important, as Kelly was saying, you have to plan and practice and work out beforehand. And also, I tell people not only running, but you should also cross-train too. Right? So maybe running every other day and cross-train, doing elliptical, lightweight, resistance, very important.
Last year's Chile half marathon, again, you got me out there on the microphone. Again, a lot of fun. I think it's also great that you're getting a lot of dignitaries, a lot of proud people that represent the area that get out there. I mean, Adam Van Couverden was someone that we got to hang out with, and I've known him even well before he was a big government guy. And it was great to see him. It's got to be a lot of fun for you to get all not just in terms of the runners, but the entire community together.
That's right, Bubba. We do get support from all levels of government, which is so nice, but especially municipally with our councillors and the mayor. And so we've been really, really lucky that way. We do have some great partners as well. Of course, the Running Room is partners with us for all of our events. And we have a pain clinic, a Vela Pain Clinic. They've been one of our partners, and also...
So that responds to, hey, my knees hurt after the race.
Right.
Well, we've got the solution.
That's right. Go to the pain clinic and get some cream and stuff, yeah.
Well, because if I remember correctly, upon my sort of travels in the Chile half marathon, which were the start-finish line was at City Hall,
yes.
that if you go inside, there's people giving massages. And,
yes.
Is that part of cool down and heat down?
Well, we offer some pre-race and post-race massages at the Burlington Performing Arts Center. So we get a lot of massage students from Oxford College, and they come out and spend 10-15 minutes with the runners, which is fantastic. And we really try to provide a really nice experience for the runner before and after the race. So we have 3 or 4 heated buildings for them to be in. Burlington Performing Arts Center and the Waterfront Hotel and City Hall, and we have coffee and lots of nice indoor toilets besides the porta potties. And then we have an awards ceremony afterwards at the Burlington Performing Arts Center, where we give out all the age category awards, which is really nice. But one thing that the Chile does that not a lot of other races do is we have Stag Chili give us a whole pile of chili.
Yum.
Beautiful chili.
Yum.
Yep. And we take it into 8 restaurants. And a lot of them are downtown. And then they graciously heat up the chili for the runners. And the runners go in afterwards and have a bowl of hot chili, order a drink. Some of the restaurants are right on Brant Street, so family members can be in there watching their mates come running up the finish line. And so that is a really nice feature that we have, and it's great for the restaurants.
Sure.
And then we also have about 8 hotels that we've got special rates, and that's where the gifts are going to be. And we offer a shuttle service so that, let's say you want to go and stay at the Quality Inn or the Admiral Inn, we have a bus that will come by and pick you up, take you to the race start, and then take you back afterwards. We try to make this totally seamless, so all the runners have to do is get to Burlington, we'll get them to the start line, they can run their race, and we'll take care of them afterwards.
So I would just going to ask you, the chili is what's coming up right now in this area, and is that the Big Daddy?
That's the Big Daddy,
right?
And the Big Mama, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now, and you do all these events, and of course, again, how do you spread the word?
Well, we do have a big database. We've got 23,000 on them, and people that have, been in our races for a while. So we do a lot of emails. We do social media. We have CHCH.
And we do podcasts with Bubba.
Podcasts with Bubba.
A new element for 2025.
That's right. That's right. So, we try to get the word out there, but I also me and my team will go to expos. Like we're at the Waterfront Expo in Toronto, where they have 30,000 runners in October. So we have a booth and we're promoting it. And went to the Buffalo Turkey Trot, Thanksgiving Thursday, a couple months ago, in our Santa dresses, promoting the Santa race and the chili. We're trying to get a big American audience because for them, of course, it's almost free with the way the dollar is.
Right.
And we're close. You know, we're an hour and 10 minutes from Buffalo, and there's a lot of runners down there. There always has been. They sort of were the key race organizations years ago for putting on events, and a lot of Canadians will go down there to run.
I think that each one of these events that you host, whether it be in Oakville, Hamilton, or Burlington, nothing can happen without two elements: sponsors and volunteers.
That's right. That's right. We've been really lucky. OMA is one of our sponsors. That's sort of, we try to consider it more like partners, not necessarily sponsors. So if it is somebody that wants to get their name out there and be involved with us, like Stag Chili, for example, they give us all this fantastic chili. And then we also serve it at different places. Like we'll serve it at Joe Brand to the docs and nurses to try to get them excited about the race. And we are almost taste testing for Stag, and everybody actually loves it. So it is really important to have as many sponsors and partners. And I think for us, you know, especially with our Hamilton package with Radius and the Tie Cats and Theatre Aquarius, we're considering their great partnerships because we can offer something to our runners, an experience to be in Hamilton with us. And for volunteers, we do need a lot of volunteers. For the Chili Half, we need about 300 between the water stations, the marshals, the race kit pickups, delivering chili to the restaurants, people that can go on the various shuttle buses to make sure our runners go to the right places. So we've got all these jobs available. Some of them are fun jobs. And then there's the finish line, which is really fun. Rick has his best secretary.
Yes.
She manages our finish line. She does a great job, Mary Jane.
Yep.
And
Yeah, she's in there. Just can't wait.
yeah.
So you can see it takes a lot of work and preparation.
Absolutely.
And I asked Kelly, when do you start for the next one? And she says, oh, I'm going to start tomorrow, the day after.
Actually, Chili 2026 is online now already. We've had 10 people sign up.
Whoa! Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
We don't procrastinate. I never procrastinate.
Well, it sounds like she can't. That's that word that's on her vocabulary.
That's for sure.
So I guess at the end of the day there, Kelly, I mean, when you look at that first race that started from Oakville to Burlington, could you have ever imagined that over 3 decades where you were ending up where you are right now?
Oh, exactly. Well, I do want to say that one of the breakthroughs for us, besides some of the races, but we were asked 30 years ago from the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation if we would host the first ever CIBC Run for the Cure for Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville site. And Mark and I said, with Kathy and some of our other team, even the ex-mayor Mary Monroe, I had her help us. We were going to take this thing on. So we did the first ever Run for the Cure. And that race, I think we had 160 people from our store in Village Square. We ended up raising, I think, $5,000 for the first one, but then that grew and grew, and we had this great partner, this Sandy O'Reilly, who worked for the city of Burlington, and we ended up moving it to a big park and got it up to all the thousands of people that have participated over the years. And we were very proud to do that for the first 5 years, to volunteer our time and expertise and raise so much money for breast cancer. So we've done some things that we absolutely love. And even though I work like 90 hours a week, and will always continue.
It's a love project, though, isn't it?
It is. It's a love project. Yeah, that's what we should call it, the
Yeah,
love
love
project.
It's a love project.
Yeah.
Could be taken the wrong ways.
Yeah. Especially when they get to the hotels and they see what we've got in there for
And you're
them.
not going to tell us.
No, it's
You're
a
not
secret.
gonna tell
Still
us.
won't tell us.
It's a secret.
See?
Everybody
It's a
has to book their
secret,
hotel.
though. I thought we could open up
Yeah.
the secret, or maybe break it here on the Sportsline podcast, but I guess not. It's not going to happen, though. I respect your privacy, your right to privacy here, Kel. You know, this is wonderful. I think it's wonderful on so many elements, on a personal basis. It's great on a city basis and a community basis, and helping others out as well too. I think everyone wins in this situation. Chile Half Marathon is the first one that's coming up. How do we get involved, and how do we?
You can email kelly@vrpro.ca. Everything is on our website, vrpro.ca. We only have, we now have 3,400 runners in the race, so we only have about another 400 spots.
Yeah.
But then there's other races, don't you worry. There's probably a race a month, and we're really focusing on some shorter distance races for new people. So we have a 3K. So this is maybe somebody that's done a 1K before and wants to do a 5 but isn't ready, but can come out and do a 3.
Exactly, or you can come out with your whole family.
That's right.
Instead of, you can do the half marathon in Chile, then come out to the next races, bring your kids, bring your husband, bring, the grandparents.
Right.
So it's a family event.
It is. And we have a discount for anybody 65 and older. Not in our age category, that's
I'm
for
getting
sure.
close.
And anybody 16 and under, because we realize that especially a lot of runners like to come back to many of our races, and it does get expensive. So anything that we can do to help to keep people coming out and being happy and having goals.
Well, Cal, thank you so much for all you do, you and your group. And I do know this, and you did say this, but I do know you work tirelessly on putting together these events. And as I said, it's something that you do not for the money or for the notoriety. You certainly do it because you love it, right?
That's
and
right.
it steams out of you. It really does. And I could see how proud you are at these events. I've been, as I said, lucky enough to be around you at some of these events and actually, call one of the races. It was great. Doctor, thanks again for checking in and letting us know why this is important to be taken care of and why we all should participate and how important the word participation is. So we look forward to hopefully tracking your progress. We can hopefully get the CHCH cameras out there as much as we like to do, because it is neat seeing so many people all in one area, all out there just, for the benefit of so many of themselves, but always so many other people in the community as well too.
That's right.
Thanks for checking out the Sportsline Podcast.
Thank you so much, Bubba, and hope to see you March 2nd.
I just might be there.
Okay, great.
All right, folks. Hey, that's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And as you've just seen and heard, we love talking sports. We love talking local and what's going on in terms of athletics in our area. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote, the Sportsline podcast do want to hear from you. Please hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. Do it. Subscribe, like. And if you have something to say, please comment. It really does make us better. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, please join us again, and we'll see you tomorrow.